I'm glad you're here to listen to wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Yeah, welcome to KJTV again, and we have youth leaders here. Josiah, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Yeah, we want to talk about this mindful of diaspora youths in a world of compromise. You know, we are living in a unique world, and we thought we have you on board. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you get about this? How can we mind youths living in a world they never grew up, or their parents never grew up? This environment. What is your what can you say?
I think we live in a world where I think people should improve their life as years keep coming, better years. I think we should have better years. But we know already right now we have a few problems in the community that I feel like people should be able to talk about.
Yeah.
Openly and maybe seek open help. The goal, I feel like for you, you're doing a good idea, but is how are you going to motivate people to talk about these social issues? I want to say social issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's because the youth they think we are old school. We don't understand. We don't get the environment what it is. Sometimes we get repulsed by the youths, and we don't have an approach of reaching them.
Yeah, that's something that has to be worked on by both ends, not just the youth. Even the older people have to find a better approach. We don't want dictatorship control approach. I think parents, we should find ways of encouraging the youth without criticizing them, so then they'll feel accepted. So the approach from both ends has to change.
But now let's talk about the youths.
Yeah.
How do you get the youths to come into a conversation?
The one thing you have to make them is to trust you first, that you can't judge them, because it's very easy for the youth now to cancel people. The cancel generation is so quick to cancel. So you got to make the youth feel like they have to trust you first. If there's no trust, there is no openness. Nobody will open up if they don't trust.
How do you earn their trust? When they have labeled you, you are old school, you don't understand.
That is a hard battle to deal with. Some of them, if they make a label on you, sometimes there's no going back. You just have to deal with it. The ones who are open-minded, who maybe feel like they can improve who they are, they start opening mind. I know youths who are very open-minded, but there's some who, once they've closed that door, you will never open it. But anyway, I can say one thing: if anybody has a problem and they want to help themselves, and they know they can get help, it's all up to them to improve their life by accepting. You can't accept help in half. You have to accept help in full. So if they decide that I'm only going to help from this way, not that way, then it's a tough battle. It's a tough battle.
But you see, until we start having this honest conversation about who we are, what demons we are battling, where we lack, where we come from, and what we want, we are not going to go anywhere. We will just be living a fake life. Because for youth, now the challenge is, what can you advise the youth to do?
But first of all, in our community, we need a whole lot of youths to actually participate in our community. And that is going away. The youth are not so much in touch with the community compared to 15 years ago. They have to be in touch with the community. Because if we realize, if anything hurts the community, it's only the community that rescues the community. Outside people don't come and rescue the community if any problem happens. So why, for example, Mwanagatinga used to be a very big thing. And I feel like it's slowly losing its value. because no youth are engaging. The older people are getting older, the younger people are not coming in.
So who is the problem here now?
I mean, I don't have an answer for all life problems, but a lot of people need to identify that leaders are not perfect. We tend in our community to think leaders are perfect. So if they see a few flaws in you, they label your entire leadership as terrible.
Yeah.
People need to know nobody is perfect. Leaders are not perfect by any means. The whole idea of assumption is really a bad idea in this world. We have to actually find a way to encourage in this community to tell young people, we want you to run this thing. Please participate. You could be the president. You could be the treasurer. Please join. But if they
But
feel like,
but really they don't care. They don't even attend meetings.
they don't, because they have
Then
a different. This is a different generation. They feel like they owe nobody anything. If you got your stuff, you got your stuff. The ones who
so do
don't
you
have, they fight
so
for themselves.
do you think is it the way they were raised, or it is a changing environment?
Not everybody is gonna agree with me. We bring our kids in America and we give them everything. Imagine your child walks out of the door and gets into a bus, goes to school, and then the bus drops them right outside your door. They go in the house, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way you grew up in Africa. You probably walked to school. You probably stayed in a boarding school. You probably eat githeri all day. You probably saw hardship. Imagine a kid who walked into a bus and they faced with tragic in the family or in life. They can never handle that. They don't have perseverance. It's very tough for them to have a soft life from home to face any problems in the future. They break down easily.
So um but there are still some kids who have that privilege, everything, but they succeed. What makes
Yes,
them succeed and the others don't?
I'm sure there's a lot of parenting from humbleness in the home. You know, a friend of mine from Trinidad takes his kids over to North Minneapolis from 3 years old to show how life is hard for other people. He's privileged, but he takes them to community. Some people take their kids to Kenya to show how life is hard. Some people take them around the city to see how many homeless people are there. So if a kid sit there and thinks hard, they are going to be very humble. That's a better word I can use. They're gonna be very humble how they approach life.
So tell me, we are having many issues. Many youths are
Yep.
challenged with alcoholism,
Yep.
drug abuse. Now they have anxiety, depression,
Depression. Yep.
suicidal. So how do we deal with all that?
Like for example, the drug issue in America is a very funny issue. I have my own opinion. America, in Minnesota, people give you benefits when you're under drugs. Instead, America should attack the root cause of drugs, not
Mm,
giving somebody a house to live in for free, not giving somebody government help. Attack the the drugs. Now, as far as drugs within our youth, to get the youth to stay away from it when they are having anxiety and depression, because
mm,
that makes them cope.
mm,
And if you cannot discipline yourself to fight it, it never ends well. I've seen people fight it, but I've also seen people completely, it's taken over their lives
mm,
completely. How do you approach it?
mm,
More people need to say, I have problems. I need help. But you already know our communities. Everybody wants to be as secretive as possible with their problems because of
mm,
fear of judgment. Because we fear we're going to be rebuked by our community. People are going to sit in their homes and talk about you.
mm.
You know, there was a parent who lost a child and people were blaming alcohol, but people didn't know there was depression. So the approach matters a lot. Being
Mm.
open-minded really matters a lot.
So what comes first? Is it the drugs or is it the mental issue? When somebody is stressed, goes to
Alcohol.
get comfort from the drugs,
Yeah.
or is the other way around?
One of the things I say is when somebody is depressed and they're around alcohol, sometimes they don't even have to be. They could have it at home.
Mm,
They're drinking, right?
Yeah.
It really comes down to the person's willingness to say, I don't like where I am right now. I need to change it. That's what it comes to. It really, because at the end of the day, you can never police anybody. You can never police any person. Never.
Mm.
We just have to tell people we have a youth organization event here. We'll help you with all your problems. Just speak.
Mm. Okay.
But that might be a battle. That might be a battle too. Another thing
Talk
I feel
about,
like,
yeah. We are having
huh?
a youth event and on April 6th. What can
Yeah,
you tell people about it?
we just tell people, hey, any problems you have, you can stay anonymous. We can help you. You can speak to a certain group of people who have confidentiality. All we do is encourage you to come up and seek help, and the rest is up to you.
Mm.
Yeah, I've also noticed here in Minnesota, we don't have a lot of community organizations. I mean, community events. We used to have all these. Remember Madaraka Day with Akina Munene,
Hmm.
ambassadors will come. They're
Yeah.
dwindling away. Nyamachoma events, people coming together, people soccer events. Soccer, people go to soccer. A lot of people are going to soccer events. Have events that are going to entice people.
But the thing is, as you getting your words earlier, is that even those events, the few events I've seen, the youths don't come.
No, they don't. Because a lot of them feel like, oh, that's not an event that goes with my class. There's also a lot of classism,
So
you know.
how do we organize a meeting to meet people of different youths of different classes? And what are
Eh,
these classes?
Yeah, people start identifying, hey, I belong here. This is my problem, and actually going there, right? Oh, hey, I belong to this other thing. I feel like I can jive with it. But the biggest battle right now is you can talk all day, all night. How
Mm,
do you get the youth to motivate themselves to come? Because everybody really wants to handle their own. And
mm,
we doing this, people may say, why are you guys worried about people's business? But then at the end of the day, people are saying we are suffering.
mm.
So the very people may say we're worried about people. There's people who are homeless in our community who live in shelters.
Oh, really?
There's people who live in shelters. There's people who are homeless. There's people
Mm.
hopping from one home to another to another to another. But you know
So,
what? The community gossips, but they will never talk to the person,
mm.
and the problem stays. Sometimes it may
so
end up tragic.
So what do you think we can do as a community? Because sometimes we say a community, as you say, we have those teething challenges. But how do we really get the youth to talk, to
The
open up?
first, the first thing is if anybody knows somebody struggling, talk to them first. Encourage them within the organization and within the public, and tell
Mm,
them, hey, there's a number for our community where you can get help. Would you be willing to join? Now the rest you leave it up to the person. That
yeah.
is how we just have to start. If the person wants, they want. If they don't want, they don't want. But if people should have more courage to go up to the person and say, hey, you need help. I have a number. I have a helpline for you to call in our community that you can be given resources.
Mm,
Okay? As long as you don't abuse, it's so easy for people to know, oh, I may get a free pass. I'm gonna act like I have problems and go get help. So it's gotta be genuine too.
you,
And then
you see,
obviously, huh?
Josiah, you can be you can try to talk to someone, then he thinks you have already judged him or
Of course,
wrong.
yeah.
How do you know that I am having mental issues? That's the question he would ask you. He would
Behaviors.
think you are labeling him wrongly.
It's not hard to figure out a behavior. Come on, it's not hard to figure out a behavior.
Mm,
It's not hard to figure out a behavior. If somebody feels, there's also a lot of people who feel like they're fine. You leave them alone. Remember, we can now rescue the whole world.
mm,
Yeah, we can rescue the whole world. But now that you probably have resources, right?
mm,
Why let these resources go to waste? Because people
yeah.
have
Mm,
opinions. I'm sure you have resources, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Some people may genuinely need help. You have the help, but you can't use the resources you've been given by the state or the government to help people because they're hung up on opinion. It genuinely it comes down to being so mindful and open-minded of where you are in your life. Look at that mirror so hard.
But that is how we want to start a conversation where we use, if there is a way we can talk and get our own solutions. We want
Correct. Yeah.
solutions which are tailored by the youth,
Yeah.
how they approach it. But the question is, we want them to come and talk first.
We want them. You want to give them the freedom. Like there's a person who has a YouTube channel who went to Minneapolis to video all the homeless Somalians, interviewing them. Right?
Yeah.
Some of them didn't want to talk. Some of them talked.
Yeah.
The number of homeless Somalians in Minneapolis is starting to increase.
Yeah, actually, even I saw the state has specifically given a program, a grant to deal with East African youths in South Minneapolis.
That is exactly. I drive there sometimes. I see it. I'm in Uptown. I'm like, that is a Somalian child on the streets.
On the streets.
And the Somalian is a very tight community.
Yeah.
The Somalians help each other. Why is this person on the streets? You find out they've probably been helped many, many, many times. They probably don't want to change. At that point, then what do you do?
As you said that the life we gave, the parents gave the youths, the current youths.
Yeah.
Is what has made them like this. Do you think the parents could have done anything different to make their life difficult?
If you notice, a lot of white parents in their suburbs with their kids, there is a lot of what is called you are on your own in this world talk in the world. Once you reach 18, you need to get a job. You need to think about college. Some white parents will pay. But then you realize these kids are so responsible because of how much they've been drilled in their head, how much independence on your own is important. Find somebody's working at a gas station, 16, 17, 18, they go college, they get school. Yeah. So a whole lot of, let's not roll the carpet for our kids because we have the money.
So
because you have the money.
So why can't you address the youth, tell them to come for the event on the
correct
April 6th?
Yeah.
And so that we can have the conversation and then tailor their needs so that we want to understand their needs and how we can tailor how to help them.
Yeah. We make some type of media promotion and share with people in the community, Akina Sami Reddy, you know, in Abichanga, share, you know. We are not perfect, me and you, we know that. We can go have a drink here, we can go out. But at the end of the day, we know how many responsibilities we have, both here and Kenya. So that, you know, having responsibility disciplines you. They should have what is called a focus. This is my responsibility, I can't fail it.
Okay.
And still enjoy your life. You can still enjoy your life.
That's true, but responsibly. You have to enjoy your life responsibly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can't say I'm gonna go drink and turn up all weekend and miss work on Monday. It's not the way it works. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We hope to see you again on Saturday.